we've talked about everything that went on in the Introduction to Music and Education course in a chronological format, I want to just wrap things up a little bit, talk about my own personal experience in the course, what I thought of it, what I learned, maybe some frustrations I had. So we were assigned various readings throughout the semester, but a lot of times we weren't able to really discuss them. And I found that a bit frustrating because I really enjoyed the readings and I really would have liked to have had more class discussion on them. And by the time we did get to them, it was sometimes up to 2 months later after we had read whatever we were assigned to read. I found that just difficult for my organizational purposes and in order to kind of have a flow to the semester. However, I really liked all the class discussion we had. I liked that students were so open and willing to participate and to discuss. And I really enjoyed when we had other people sending emails and links about things that they thought would be useful. For example, we listened to some TED Talks and even watched one in class on Ben Zander on music and passion. And then we discussed it and we wrote a triple entry journal for it. And that was very cool. I liked that we had so much interest in this topic and so many willing participants in the class. So before I finish discussing my narrative of this course, I'd like to just answer a couple of questions or a couple of statements. First is my rationale statement for music and education. So what exactly is a rationale statement is my first question to myself. I'm thinking, well, okay, I want to teach. This is about music and education. It's got 2 key words that I really like in it, music, education. Great, I'll take this class. I think that maybe the department had something more in mind for my rationale statement. So let's delve into it a little bit. What exactly is the essential role of music in the 21st century? Well, I think it should be huge. And unfortunately, it's just not. So I guess my rationale statement would be that music is vital. It helps children and adults thrive. And I think that as a future educator, I want to promote that. I want to get the administration of schools on my side. I want to show them that music is so important for learning, that it'll actually help in all other areas of learning, that it should not only be available, but it should be required. I think every student should have the opportunity to study music, and indeed I think that they should be required to study music. Not because I want to force them to do something they don't want to do, but because I believe it's as important as math, science, reading, and history. And we require them to learn that without any option because we have deemed that important. So how come music is not important? So I guess my rationale statement is that music is so important for the 21st century and for everybody to learn and for brain development. It improves so many neural passages in the brain that I think as an educator, even if I'm not educating a strictly music class, I'm going to try to bring in music to everything I do. Now, another question I need to talk about is, what exactly does it mean to be this artist, teacher, scholar that we've talked very briefly about and I've alluded to before, and I have a handout actually on my other tab. So an artist, teacher, scholar is kind of exactly what it sounds like. An artist or a musician, a teacher, well, you know, educator, teacher, and a scholar, a lifelong learner. So an artist, teacher, scholar is somebody who combines all of those traits. And I think that I definitely am an artist, teacher, scholar. I love to perform. I really enjoy singing and cantoring and working as a soloist and section leader. I love conducting, actually, and working with children's choirs, which kind of combines into teaching. I love to teach. I love to teach all ages. I really want to be a college professor, but I enjoy teaching children. I work with children almost every day. And I think that artistry and teaching can definitely go together. And then some scholarship. I don't know how one can be a teacher without being a scholar, because I mean, I've prepared for lectures before, and if I didn't know anything about being a scholar or being a student or a learner, I wouldn't have been able to teach the lecture. I mean, I don't know everything there is to know. I don't expect to. I, of course, have to go research and find out and figure out, okay, when exactly was that period that was so important to Schumann? Was that 1850 or 1840? Like, I don't expect to remember all these things. There's too many important dead guys and too many important areas of music and time periods. So, that is a good argument for scholarship. If you want to be a good teacher, you better be a good scholar. And if you want to be a good music teacher, you should probably be a good musician too. So, that's my experience in the Music and Education Intro Seminar, and I hope you enjoyed these video chats.